All right, hey people, welcome to the Visionary Connection where we connect with you. Today we have a fun but a straight up realistic topic that we're going to be talking about, and that's this. Check it out. Mortgage brokers and realtors. Can you see that, guys? We are family. We are actually the same, okay? Mortgage brokers and realtors, so your real estate agent, we're actually the same. Okay, so what do I mean by this? 3 reasons why we're family, we're kinfolk, okay? Reason number 1, we are trusted intermediaries. So you have let's talk about a purchase transaction, right? Someone selling, someone buying, okay? What do? The realtor is the connection, is the intermediary between the seller and the buyer, right? Well, guess what? So is the mortgage broker, especially if that buyer is using financing, which is 99.9% of the time, okay? So we are building that bridge between the two, and we are trusted, okay? We have expertise and experience in our industry so that you're coming to us so that we are here to lend a helping hand to get the transaction done as quickly and as smoothly as possible. We are a guide. I've mentioned this before in previous videos and maybe in 1 or 2 of my podcasts, but there's a podcast that I listen to. It's called Story Brand by Donald Miller. And again, one of the things he talks about is how in most stories you have a guide, okay? Someone that's helping to lead you along the way from darkness to light. And so essentially we're a guide walking you through the pathway of home ownership, okay? The realtor does that. Your loan officer, your mortgage broker, we do that together in unison, okay? We advocate and we provide the expert guidance. So what does advocate means? We represent you, all right? We make sure that we are representing your best interests, your best financial and your best family-oriented interests in mind. We're a bridge over troubled waters. Now, every single transaction is not going to be troubled waters. It's not going to be turbulence or anything like that. But again, we help you to get from one side to the other. That's why we're here. We're here to serve. We're here to help. We're here to be that guide. We're here to be that bridge, okay? We provide safe passage, as I just meant. So that's number 1. We are trusted intermediaries, guides, and advocates. We both do the same thing. Number 2, we are professionals working in unison, okay? We're moving in a parallel direction, right? So you guys learned in high school, right? What parallel means, right? Think about it. If you're beginning a particular transaction, okay, what is your goal? Your goal is to get to closing as quickly and as efficiently as possible without going over a bunch of rocks and rubble as possible, right? We help you to do that in unison. We're not working against each other. We're working with each other so that we can help our clients. If it's a listing agent who's listing the home, fantastic. If it's the buyer's agent who's representing the buyer, fantastic. Again, we're all representing each other. We're not working against each other. We're not enemies in a transaction. We're actually allies in the transaction. And speaking of which, quick shameless shout out and plug for my video that I'm going to be putting out, Business Growth Allies and Business Growth Enemies. So that will be coming out soon, so check that out, okay? All right. Again, I think I mentioned earlier, with the exception of a cash purchase, okay, really the mortgage broker doesn't really play a part in that, okay, with a cash purchase, all right? When there is financing involved, okay, you will have a loan officer, whether it's with a credit union, a big bank, or a trusted mortgage broker like me. There is mutual interdependence and intersection, okay? This is very important. I'm going to go into detail with this in a minute, but there's mutual interdependence and intersection. We actually need each other. We cannot be independent during the transaction. We just can't get it all done by ourselves. We actually play certain roles, okay, that help the entire purchase transaction to go well and smoothly. So let's look at that. Mortgage broker and realtor. So number 1, We provide the pre-approval. So we do the due diligence up front to check your credit, to check your income, to check your bank statements, to go over interest rates, to go over estimates, to make sure that you are prepared to be able to purchase a home, so that you are educated and ready to purchase a home. Once we do that, then your realtor takes you out and you go look at all kinds of different homes and you decide what you like, what you don't like, and then you make an offer, and hopefully that offer is accepted by the seller. Okay, when that offer is accepted by the seller and everyone signs, you have what's called a ratified or official contract. Okay, great. Once you have that, then we prepare the loan for the initial underwriting approval. Okay, so we get your loan approved initially with the bank. Great. Once that happens, and during this time, everything is essentially working concurrently, okay? The realtor will make sure that the appraisal is done. Actually, the mortgage broker, we order it. The realtors let them in the house, okay? We clear certain contract contingencies, so I won't get into too much detail on that, but there are certain protections that are built into your contract to protect the seller and to protect the buyer. You know, one is what's called an appraisal contingency. There's a home inspection contingency. There's a financing contingency. These things are very important, again, to protect the seller and the buyer in the transaction. Okay, once the loan's approved and we're moving along in the process and we're getting ready for settlement, and that could be anywhere between 2.5 to 3.5 weeks, okay? We give something called the closing disclosure, which has an estimate of how the figures will look going towards settlement. They're not the final figures, but they are figures indicating that we're getting closer in the process. When that happens, the seller is signaled, woohoo, okay, closing is getting closer. Okay, so then the seller can breathe easy. The loan's gonna close, we're gonna get our money, we're gonna move, everything's going to be great. Okay, these things work concurrently. Once the loan is final, okay, it's out of underwriting, it's going to the closing department. Great. We review final figures and CTC, 3 of the most beautiful letters in the English language. Clear to close. Okay, clear to close. Once that is done, guess what? You go to settlement. Seller moves out, the buyer moves in. Okay, just like that. We try to simplify the process as much as possible. Look at these things. When you look at what I just explained, okay, these things are interdependent on one another. We work together to make the transaction happen for you and your family. Number 3, we are educators, okay? We are educators. We are here to pass on information to make sure that you absorb and you retain the information needed as you're purchasing your home, whether you are an experienced buyer or whether you are a first-time homeowner. We are here to educate, okay? We provide the roadmap. We're the guide. Okay, we provide the roadmap that gets you from rentership to home ownership. We hold your hand. We're there with you. We answer questions. Okay, we answer your calls and texts, whether it's late or whether it's early. We are there to serve you. Together, as I've mentioned before, it's a recurring theme. We have the client's best interest in mind. Okay, we have your best interest in mind as we're going through, and we spend these anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40 days together on this journey. Okay, the mortgage broker, what do we do to educate? Lots of things, but I just kind of broke it down just for a little bit for you. Okay, we go over your credit. Credit is the foundation of you being able to purchase a home. I have podcasts on this. I have different videos on this. Please check them out where I'm pointing right now. Okay, number 1. Number 2, we go over interest rates and different programs with you so that you can understand, okay, am I getting the lowest rate on this 30-year fixed loan? What's my monthly payment? We help to set those expectations. I walk you through the process, okay, the process from the time when you're just thinking about maybe we can purchase a home, maybe I can purchase a home, to the point where you're sitting at the table and you're signing documents, whether you have a mask on or you're doing it virtually or not, to the time that you get the keys in your hand. Responsibility, okay? It's my responsibility to make sure that you have financial responsibility and understand how important it is to be a responsible homeowner, what a privilege it is in this country to be a responsible homeowner, okay? Those two things are combined. And then confidence. You have moved on to a different time frame. You've moved on, you've graduated to a different phase, a different chapter in your life. We're here to walk along with you during that journey. We're here to hear your story, okay, and to share your story if you want your story shared. What does the realtor do? The realtor also educates you on home ownership, how important it is to understand the ins and outs and part of the important details that some people may forget about with regards to home ownership and home maintenance and things of that nature. Help you to understand the market, the location. How's the market here? How's the market there? Are you looking for a single family property? Are you looking for a townhouse? How many bedrooms do you need? How many bathrooms do you need? Do you need a finished basement? Do you really need a garage? What are your preferences? What kind of commute do you have? All of those things, the realtor educates you and helps you along the way so that you can make the most informed decisions. Decision making is critical during this process. You have to be decisive, okay? But you also want to make sure that you're making the most important and informed, rather, decision. I mentioned home maintenance before. I know some realtors who are excellent, okay, at recommending really good home inspectors to make sure that there's no kind of issues or underlying things that you don't see going on in your home. And they can also give you some very good advice on things that you can do to help save yourself money and save yourself time in maintaining your home for you and your family. Now, I mentioned this a little bit before. Location, schools, commute, all of that stuff, your realtor is going to be an expert in to be able to share that with you. So we have 3 reasons why today that we talked about, okay? The reasons why a mortgage broker is the same as a realtor. We are on the same team. We are here to help you. Again, number 1, we are trusted intermediaries. Number 2, we are working in unison with you. And number 3, we are educators, okay? Please submit your comments below if you have any questions, concerns, disagreements. I'm here. Bring it on, okay? I want to be positive. I want to connect. This is why we have the Visionary Connection. Hopefully this brings value to you, and it brings value to your company, and it brings value to your journey. Thank you so much. See you again next time.